Hey, we're wearing the same shirts we wore last time.
Bring on the schmaltz.
Hey everybody, welcome to Schmaltzmark. My name is Wayne. This lovely young lady is Kelly. And we're going to review another Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yes.
Today, what do we have, Kelly?
We have the perfect Christmas present.
And I gotta tell you, this film was almost the perfect Christmas present.
Really, I mean...
I'm not even kidding, I'm not exaggerating. This is one of my favorites so far, all time.
Yeah, not just so far this season, so far ever.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's way up, probably in my top 5 all-time Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yes.
All right, Kelly, let's get into these tropes.
Let's do that. First of all, we were trope light in this movie, as we predicted.
Yes, that was exactly our prediction in our precaps.
Yes.
Because it's a Hallmark movies and mysteries film, those tend to be a little bit lighter on the tropes anyway. I'm petting a cat, in case anybody's wondering what I'm doing down here with the other hand.
And we were correct. It was definitely trope light. The first one was the decorating montage.
Yep, always a good one. A classic.
Makes me want to get up and decorate the house. Alas, it's just a tad too early to do so.
But we've got this part decorated.
Yes, which makes me very happy.
This is something, right?
Yes.
All right. Second, we had the eye-opener guy.
We did. And we didn't know how he was going to... At first, I thought she might open his eyes.
Right. I thought that might be the case, too.
Eye-opener gal instead of guy.
I thought maybe because of his job as a gift buyer of sorts.
Right.
He called himself Mr. Christmas.
Yes.
It was this expert gift buyer. He could do research on a person and help their loved one find the perfect gift to just really change their life. So I thought maybe he was going to be a little bit jaded, perhaps a little cynical about Christmas. He only saw Christmas as a business opportunity for him.
Right. So I thought maybe she was going to show him the error of his ways.
Right.
But it actually was an eye-opener guy.
Yeah, and it was an eye-opener guy because she was in a what?
In the wrong relationship.
Yep, so it was a right guy, wrong guy scenario.
Yes, it was, which was my prediction for the big trope.
Here we go.
And it was a 2-pointer, but I did get it right.
You did get it right. I'll give you credit for that. We also had fake snow. There was not a lot of fake snow on the ground.
Yes, but a lot of digital snow.
Oh, the digital snow.
One scene, guys, was snow in the house.
Yeah, so you had a couple embracing in their doorway. It's snowing outside, and there are little snowflakes in front of them in the house,
yes,
in the foreground.
Because they're embracing in the doorway.
Yeah, but they were still inside the doorway.
But part of them were still inside the house.
Little flurries. All in the living room. Also, there was one scene where it really just looked like the prop guy was just dumping his bucket of fake snow outside the window.
It did.
Yeah, they could have worked a little harder on that one, I think.
Okay, so next we had lights everywhere, lights, which is fairly predictable. However...
It was over the top beyond in this one.
Because they were shooting in Chicago at Christmas time.
Right.
Which is totally unfair.
Unfair advantage to the other filmmakers.
Now I want to go to Chicago.
You were just
Christmas
in Chicago
time.
a couple of months ago.
Yes, but I want to go back now at Christmas.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Wow.
Gorgeous. And even in the shots that weren't part of the city decorations in Chicago, man, the way they used the lights was beautiful. Foreground, background, midground. They were doing some sort of a filtration on them that made them all soft and glowy. It was
really pretty.
Gorgeous film. Gorgeous film. We had a near-miss kiss.
Yes.
We debated this one.
We actually had to rewind it and watch it again, and we actually debated it a little bit before we put it on the list.
Yeah, we did debated it, but what ultimately sold us was that they were interrupted.
And they were standing under mistletoe.
So if that's not an almost kiss... No, there wasn't the lean.
But there was the mistletoe and the interruption.
And they were slightly embarrassed afterwards.
Right. So we checked that box.
And as is true of most Hallmark movies and mysteries, Christmas films, they did kiss before the end of the film.
They did, twice.
Yeah.
And then we had the music by Public Domain.
Yes.
Use of, I think it was...
We had God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Silent Night, and Jingle Bells
yes.
all made appearances in this one.
Right. Wayne really wanted the first boyfriend, the original boyfriend, to be in advertising.
Well,
that was his
actually,
pick.
my prediction was that the main character, Jenny, would be in advertising.
Yes.
Or the main female lead, and she wasn't.
No,
but then I was really hoping that the boyfriend, or as we called him throughout this thing, the bro friend.
The bro friend. But we never found out what he did for a living.
No.
And I looked it up on IMDb, and we couldn't figure out what he did for a living. So
Dude was an over-the-top brosif, though.
he was a brosif.
We also had a tragic childhood backstory.
The original.
Yeah, the original tragic backstory, as we intended it to be.
That's right.
In this case, it was the main character, main female lead, Jenny. She and her mother moved across the country when her parents separated.
At Christmas time.
At Christmas time, when she was just a child. She adored her father and was then separated by an entire country from him. And he came to visit her one time in California. And shortly thereafter, he tragically died.
He did.
So it had affected her in a very deep, deep way. And she'd never really quite gotten over it.
Gotten over that part, right.
But then this romantic interest reminded her of the part of herself that loved Chicago, that loved
because she was
her
she was
father.
on the fence even with original boyfriend whether she was going to stay in Chicago or just go back to
and essentially she
California.
was looking for a man to treat her the way she remembers or romanticizes her father treating her.
Right.
Yeah. We can talk about the deeper psychological issues of that later in the comments.
Yeah.
There was also an unfortunate misunderstanding.
Of course there was.
Tragic. In this case, it was not a non-problem problem.
It was an actual
It was a very
problem.
real problem. She felt betrayed in a very serious way, but I think she misunderstood what our male lead's motivations were. Tom,
Right.
the professional buyer, Mr. Christmas. And we've already covered the wrong guy, right guy scenario. Kelly, what is our total on tropes for this
Our
one?
total tropes was 9. Your
9.
original guess was 8. My original guess was 10. So
Thank you.
He gets the 3 points because tragically I went over.
The comeback has begun.
Okay, so moving along to the acting in this film.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I really liked this cast.
The acting was strong all across the board. I thought there was occasionally in some of these movies there's a weak link in the cast. I didn't feel that way with this cast at all. I felt like
all the
strong.
best friends and the supporting characters were good. Tara Holt, I think, is going to have a great career. She's got this sort of smoky Emma Stone quality about her. She was great in this type of a role. She really, to me, carried pretty much every scene she was in. Not that the other actors were weak, but she was just so much stronger. And I thought Sam Page, the male lead, was good too, but his was a much more understated sort of performance.
Right.
He opened up a little bit more toward the end as he got more emotionally invested. So I thought he played that well.
Yeah, you could see the evolution of his character very nicely throughout the film.
Yeah, because he's very disconnected and very removed from everything early on. But the more emotionally invested he gets, the bigger his emoting becomes in the performance. I thought that was a smart choice. All right, so Kelly, score for acting. I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 9.
A 9. All right,
Yes.
so we're at 8.5.
Yes.
For the average. Nice. That's good recommendation.
It is
Starting
good.
strong here. What about story?
I gave story also a 9.
I gave story a 9 as well. I'd like to hear your reasons.
It's not a predictable story. You don't really see where it's going because the wrong guy isn't wrong for obvious reasons.
Right.
He's very much invested in the relationship. He very much loves this woman. So it's not an obvious wrong guy because you don't dislike his character.
Right.
Which a lot of times in these movies, the wrong guy is obvious from the very beginning and the audience doesn't like them at all.
He just was not the right fit for her.
For her.
Yeah.
Not that he was a bad guy.
And he ends up finding a better situation by the end anyway. So
which
that's
was
redeemed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I really appreciated that about this particular story.
Yeah. What I liked about this story is every time I thought I knew where they were going,
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to go into a trope like an awkward public proposal. They completely surprised me.
Right.
And not only that, I have to admit, man, they had me emotionally at the end.
Me too. The ending was, I'm not even going to spoil the ending,
But it was
here,
beautiful. It really
but
was.
It was really, really beautiful.
Yeah. So, yeah, very, very nice job. I'm sorry I don't have the screenwriter's name here, but nice work.
Big thumbs up.
Yeah. Visuals.
8.5.
I gave it a 9. Okay, Kelly, let's look at the scores.
Let's do that.
All right. So for story, our average score here was
9.
A 9. All right. And your guess?
My guess was 7.5. Yours was 8.
So I win that one.
You do.
3 points for me. Okay. For acting, our average score
8.5.
8.5. Your guess was
8.5.
And my guess was surely an 8.5 also.
8.
I
3
think she
points for
cheated.
me. And finally, visuals.
Visuals.
The average was 8.75.
Okay.
And your guess was 6.5.
I'm so sorry.
And my guess was 8.
So you got 3 points for that too.
I did.
All right. So you got 3 points
For visuals,
for visuals,
for acting,
for acting,
and for guessing the correct
guessing
trope.
the proper trope. I got 3 points for total number of tropes and for story, which means you beat me 9 to 6. But I closed a little, well, no, because now actually you're 3 points more ahead than you were last time. But the next episode, the next review we do, the comeback begins. Count on it. Kelly.
Yes.
It's not Schmaltz.
Unless it ends with a kiss.
To watch more Schmaltzmark, click the rectangular thingy up in the top left. To subscribe to Wannabe Films, our channel, so you can always know when we post, click on the round thingy to the upper right.